Creo Parametric 4.0 midterm exam. Essentially what you want to do is you want to grab the actual midterm exam document. You'll find it on Bertani1.com, and you'll just see the Creo 2.0. There's going to be a 4.0, the same exact exam. Just go ahead and click on the midterm, and it will pop up a PDF file with instructions for probably the best way to make it. Maybe not the best, but maybe the easier way to make it. You can see here it's divided into four different areas. You first model a bottle, then you model a cap, and here's the bottle. There's the cap. You don't create the drawing, by the way. You're just simply creating those parts. Then you create an assembly and attach the cap to the bottle. And then you explode it. And then you could go ahead and bring it into a drawing. So it says recreate the medicine bottle assembly drawing. Print it out and turn it in. So this is the drawing that you have to recreate. It's a little fuzzy, a little blurry on that. Didn't do a very good job of capturing that screen. But basically that's the intent here. And it's going to have a bill of materials as well as some balloons attached. So what I will provide, and I don't have on here actually, is there's actually a template for the bill of materials. So I'm going to create it manually. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to start the new part, and the first part is going to be the bottle. Hit OK. Select, I would recommend in this case, the top plane is your best bet because a bottle sits on a tabletop. So that's the theory there. Let's go to extrude, and right away draw the diameter of the base of the bottle. And if you want to look at the drawing, it's 2 inches in diameter. And extrude it. And it gets extruded 2.5 inches in height. Now we're going to go ahead and select this face and extrude, and we're going to make the neck of the bottle. Now the neck of the bottle is 1.5 inches in diameter. So go ahead and draw a circle at the center and draw that out. And then the height is only 1/2 inch. Hit apply. Now before you shell, remember, shell this last. Don't try and shell it now. You first want to put the fillets in, and there's the rounds in here, and they're 0.1, and you're going to want 1. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 0.01, so 0.1, 2, and 3. Do not do this top edge. That's supposed to be sharp. Hit OK. Now you could go ahead and shell it. Go to the shell command, set the wall thickness to 0.1, hit enter, and select this top face, and hit the green check mark. Be aware if you neglect to select the top face and you hit enter 2 times, or the middle mouse button, you will have a shell feature in the feature tree, and it will be hollowed out, but you won't have the opening at the top. So you need to open that up. If that happens to you, just click on the actual shell and click on the gold ball to edit the definition, and you could go ahead and select the top surface and have it done. So there's the bottle. That's worth 50 points. Make sure you save that. Actually, we already did hit save, so I guess we don't need to. Okay, so now we're going to go to new, and we're going to make the cap now. So for the cap, again, it's not as critical as the bottle, but I would still recommend drawing it on the top plane. So start your sketch on the top plane, go to extrude actually, and draw your circle. And the diameter for this is only 1.9. That's the largest diameter on the print that you'll notice. And it only goes a height of 0.1. Now here's the thing, before you go any farther, select round and put in a 0.1 round on that top edge there. And hit apply. Now we know that's the top, this is the underside. Select this face and go ahead and go to extrude. The next diameter that you need to draw is going to be 1.8. And go ahead and extrude that a 1/2 inch. Now be aware the print identifies a hole in here. Put that in last because the hole is 0.400 deep, so 400,000 deep. It's not a full 1/2 inch, so don't try and combine the two and expect to get this correct. That's probably the #1 error people make on this test. So I would suggest follow what I'm doing here. Now you could go ahead and select this face, go to extrude, and draw the hole for the for this. Don't try and shell it either, because it would be various wall thicknesses you'd have to apply. So if you're a more advanced user, you probably know how to do some of those things, but right now I would not recommend that. So this is 1.5 for the whole. Hit OK, flip it around, and make sure that that is 0.4. Very important, 0.4, number one mistake. People have it at a ½ inch deep. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put 50 ribs around this. So select this face, go to extrude, and proceed to draw one circle and wake up this edge here so you can snap to that point, click, and then you could actually wake up this edge and snap to that point. That way it goes tangent. You don't need to put the 100 thousandths diameter on there. So as long as you got tangent and coincident there, you're in good shape. Saves you some time. Hit OK, flip this around, and instruct it to extrude up to the next option. And hit the green check. Now here is the number 2 most commonly common issue that students have. They forget how to pattern. You need to put a circular pattern for this part here, or this feature, so go click on pattern, and you need to turn on the axis display, because you need that axis that's right there. Okay, now you could go ahead, go up here first of all, change it to axis, select the axis in the center. Remember, if you don't see the axis, make sure you turn it on under display filters. We're going to need 50 ribs copied, and then you're going to go ahead and you can type in 360 divided by 50 to get your 7.2 angle, and there they all are. Hit the green check mark to apply, and you could turn off the axis display once you're done, and you've just earned yourself another 50 points. Moving along, let's start the assembly now, and go ahead and just call this the med bottle, for medicine bottle. Hit OK. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and bring in or assemble those. So go to Assemble and go to In Session, unless you've saved them somewhere else. And in Session, there you'll find the bottle and the cap. Bring in the bottle first. And I would recommend, and this is probably the 3rd most common mistake, and this is prevents people from actually getting the section view in the drawing. Make sure you drop this in at the default. Do not go with automatic, otherwise you will not get a cutting plane to make this cross section that you need. There's ways around it. Again, as an advanced user, they know how to get around that without doing this. But note that if you're not advanced, I would recommend making sure that you drop it in at the default. You could always go back and do this if you forget. Okay, so now that we have the bottle there, let's bring in the cap. So go to Assemble and In Session and find the cap. Hit Open. I would recommend bring this up top here. And the reason why is because I've had students lock it into the bottle and they can't figure out what happened to it. In fact, it's inside the bottle. It's an easy fix to just drag it out. But anyhow, you want to select this face right here and match it to one of these faces on the outside. And that will align it concentrically, and actually it's coincident here. Okay, now select this face, the flat face, and the hole at the bottom of the hole in the cap to the top face of the bottle neck. And you're going to go ahead and change that instead of distance to coincident. Hit the green check. Alright, now you need to explode it and save the exploded view. So to explode this, go to Edit Position, and you'll see it will automatically explode it. And actually, in this case, because it's such a simple part, it does a pretty good job. We really don't need to modify it. In the next test, your final exam, you're going to need to know how to modify a little bit beyond that. But go ahead and hit the green check mark. And in here, just to show you this, it's not a bad idea to save that in there. So go to take a picture of it with the camera, View Manager. And you could go over here to Explode, the tab, go to Edit, and save. And save it over the default explode. Just hit OK and update the default. And you could close this then. That's saved now. Alright, good thing to turn off explode. you're probably fine if you leave it on. But now we're ready to go ahead and make the drawing. So let's go to New and Drawing. And we'll just call this the med bottle. Hit OK. Use the empty with format. That is probably the 5th most common thing that students forget, at least in my class. Forget the empty with turn on empty with format. Click on Browse and select the A size so we can print it out on our printer. Hit Open and OK. Now go ahead and go to the General. Let's drop in a general view. You can also right click to do this. No combined state or default, doesn't matter, whichever one you want. Then click. Now select the front view orientation, double click, and hit, we'll change all the appearances later, all in one shot. So here now we have this. Now if you want to move it, you'll see it might be locked down, so make sure you go up to the upper left and turn off lock view movement. Now you could go ahead and grab this and relocate it. Now we want a view offset from on the bottom here. So let's go to, let's see here, projected view. Drag one down right below it, click. Now go ahead and click on this view again, go to projected view and drag one to the right, click. And that's going to be our section view, so double click on it. And you could go to Sections, 2D cross section, hit the Add button, hit Done, just skip this, just hit Done. And type in the label, which is A, capital A. Now what you need to do is hit the green check mark here, and now it's looking for a plane. You'll notice we don't have a plane in here right now. You have to show them, so data display filters, turn on the plane display. And now you should be able to click on that plane in there. There it is. It's kind of hard, a little tricky to get in there. Right up there, click. And it didn't take. Let's try that again. Do I have it? Let me turn them all on here. Okay, just make sure you actually click on the right part. It actually is this part on the left that you want to go ahead, and you should find the datum in the middle. You could click on that. Okay. And you'll get the green check mark to acknowledge that it's corrected. And then go to View Display and make sure you turn on No Hidden and Tangent Edges Phantom. Hit Apply and OK. And that should give that to you. Now you could turn off those filters because they will unfortunately print out and you get marked off for it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make a detail view. So find the detail view option. We want this vicinity right here. Just click on this edge. You get the X. Start at the 12 o'clock where you'd start a circle around here. Click. Go to 9 o'clock. Click. 6 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Click. And then middle click on the wheel. And then drop it. Let's drop it right up there. Okay. And now we can move that over. Click on the detail. Just grab the thin green line. Drag that over. This one, maybe make it look a little nicer. You can move these around and get them positioned better later. Okay, so the next thing, also these two views need to be set. So Control select them and then right click, actually double click on the second one, holding Control. And make sure you just set it to No Hidden and Phantom. Hit Apply and OK. All right, now we need another general view. So you could right click and there's general view. Hit OK and left click. And over here under View States, make sure you check Explode Components in View. You can customize it, but go ahead and hit Apply first and take a look at it. And if it looks pretty good, you're in good shape. Otherwise, customize it. You could drag the cap up. Hit OK and leave that in shaded mode. All right, now I'm going to put the annotations in here. So first of all, under Annotate, I'm going to drop a note. I'm going to click on Note. And just drop one right in here. Make sure you put your name and your name, not the actual CAD class that I'm putting in here. Okay, and then also now we need a bill of materials. Now, like I said, I will provide a bill of materials template which enables you to go right to table, and you would be able to find, table from file and locate it. It's all automatic. It's beautiful when it works. But what we're going to do, since I don't have that, we're going to go ahead and make 9 cells. Just move your pointer over the 9 cells here. Click. And now just drop that in the upper left. Click. And now you could actually just double click inside them. And here, type in item. Double click in this next cell here. Description. Oh. And we'll fix that in just a moment. And then in here, double click on this. And QTY for quantity. Okay, so now how do we get this description to get a little bit wider? Just click and drag a fence around it, and then right mouse button, hold down there, oops, and find width. And instead of 10 characters, we probably need 11. Hit preview, that looks pretty good. Hit OK. All right, continue on with these. Item number 1, and you can click in this next cell here. Kind of in the center lower right seems to activate it much better. And then the first will be the bottle. Okay, and this one give me a little bit of a headache there. I'm double clicking all over. Okay, and then it's just one. Over here for this one, come on. Okay, item number 2. You could hear me clicking. It's kind of annoying. All right, go ahead and select the cap. And come on. All right, and then finally, that's a quantity of 1. All right, now to put the notes on. So go to Annotate and select Note with Leader. And go ahead and we could drop one on right here on this edge here. Click and, oops. And then middle click, and that will be item number 1. Middle click, and then over here click on this one. Oh, we have to go back. Leader note. Click on this. Oops, I keep forgetting to middle click. Middle click 2, and then middle click again. And you could drag them out if you want to locate them a little bit farther away. Okay, now let's put in some other details. We forgot the line here in the center. So go to Layout, select Arrows, and we could go ahead and select this view right here, and then select this view, and it should drop the arrows in automatically. And now middle click a couple times, and click on these tips of the arrows. Oops, I didn't want to do that. We just hit cancel there. Just grab that tip and drag it in a little bit so it's not overlapping. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring in over here the center mark. To bring in the center mark, select the view and go to Annotate. Click on Show Model Annotations, and over here the Datum button. Oh, and look at that, we're not getting it today. Let's see, did it not select it? Okay, that's interesting. So hold on one moment. Okay, I just had to click on the center. I actually double clicked and it brought up this little datum option here. So check that little box, hit apply, and then close out. And there you have your center mark. Okay, and then I always recommend going back to your drawing and verifying that you have everything needed. So make sure you have your name, you have the table, and also all the section views and detail views necessary to complete this. And then go ahead now to print this out. I'm going to show a method here that might help you. Okay. To print this out, I would recommend, first of all, go to File, and we want to do a Save As, Quick Export PDF. It will generate a PDF file that's a lot easier to print out than using the printer options inside Creo. So mine's taking its time today, but once it does appear, you could just go ahead and hit print. As you can see, my wheel is spinning there. So okay, and it did eventually come up just shortly after I clicked on it. So as you can see here, here is the drawing. Again, just double check, make sure it looks correct, and then you could just, from here, you could just print it out. So I don't have the printer option on this one because I'm running it through something else here. But anyhow, oh, there it is, right there. You can print it out. And those of you in the class, the G208 printer, where you want to print that out. And that concludes the midterm exam.